Nah, first off, educate me then, big dog. You're not going to clown me. Look, America, this is how he do me. This is how he do me. He make a joke, then he tell me he trying to help me.
Dog.
Then you don't tell me how you trying to help me.
Okay, let me help you.
Okay,
right.
$200 suit is an offense unless there's an inside joke that I'm outside of.
You ever seen Friday, the first one?
The first
then
one?
Friday at the next, and next Friday and all. You got to watch all three of them. Pinky was a character in there. No, he was in there and he wore a suit and they said something about $200 suit. Anyway, I digress. You got me in trouble yesterday over here reciting Tupac verses when it's really Lil Wayne. I respect both, but your young buck gonna get me fired out here in these streets. Hey, dog, say it right. It was Pac's verse too, Lil Wayne.
It was Pac's verse. Apologies. Okay, back to football,
Let's get
baby.
to it.
The Browns win is a terrible look for Baker Mayfield. Not just a bad look, it's a terrible look for Baker Mayfield. And here's why.
Okay.
If you ever get benched, if you ever sit out, if you ever get replaced, you got to monitor and hope that your replacement does not keep the same job or make the job better. If you ever get benched, if you ever get replaced, you got to make sure that your replacement does not maintain your level of performance.
Say it.
It's a Friday, Sel.
Okay, we lose?
I ain't usually here on Fridays. You know this, man. I'm out here working. I usually here on Fridays. But you know what I do on Fridays?
What? What you do?
I get on my iPad. I look at these ratings because I got to see. To speak for yourself, still ball on
Joy
Fridays
Taylor,
when your boy ain't here. And I make sure that at least, you know what I'm saying, them numbers can't look the exact same.
They look better?
Because if them speak numbers look better, your boy in trouble. And if them speak numbers look worse,
is that why you really here?
So Baker Mayfield,
He's right.
them Browns, they look just as good in your absence.
Facts.
I'm not going to say they look better, right? I don't think the Broncos are all that good, but the Browns looked just as good in Baker Mayfield's absence. That's a terrible look for you, Baker. If a CEO steps down, but the business maintains its level of profit, not a great look for the CEO that stepped down. If a show host leaves a show and the show rates the same, not a great look for the host that left the show. If a quarterback is absent and the backup quarterback maintains a high level of play, not a great look for the absent quarterback. So I think it is a terrible look for Baker Mayfield that the Browns won and how they won.
I hear you there. Was this a bad look for Baker Mayfield? Not really. Okay, I had a rooting interest to see Case Keenum go out there and ball out. Why?
Yes,
I like smoke. I like drama. I'm not going to fight, so I like to see other people have to go through it, right? I was sitting back vicariously watching this because I lived through a soap opera, a quarterback controversy, Rob Johnson, Doug Flutie, and I know how that actually sparked our team, but at the same time looked divisive from the outside. But it's really just another form and version of competition. I want Case Keenum to go out there and ball because then when Baker Mayfield gets healthy and comes back, oh, we done changed the standard around here, as you said, because your backup looked just like you. But he didn't really look just like Baker Mayfield. He got the victory, and obviously they needed that victory desperately. But at the same time, there were some things that were good and bad about this. This was a hot and cold situation, up and down, as I said earlier. Let's say two things, Marcellus. One is this. If you're Case Keenum, you can't look like that and take his job. What do they say if you're going to go into a heavyweight fight against the champion? You got to knock him out to get the championship, right?
Fair. I like that.
You're not going to win on the scorecards because he's the champ. Baker Mayfield is the starter. The only way you're going to knock him out of that position is to knock him out of that position. You can't go out there and say, well, we won, and we had a great running game from our third stringer, and our offensive line dominated. However, at the same time, you got to also understand the dynamics at play that is going to help Case Keenum. Case Keenum knows he has an inside track to this job, and the opportunity just presented itself. And that's what he's been waiting for. That's why he said, I'm built for this. Case Keenum pregame was talking about, I'm built for this. Really? I thought you were just a journeyman, but at the same time, now you built for this. You know why he thinks so much of himself in this situation? Because of that inside track. Acho, I don't know about you and your culture and the people in your world, but I do know I've watched from afar some arranged marriages, right? And for every person that I know on one hand that is in an arranged marriage, none of them talk deeply about the love. They all talk about how they grew in the situation, in the role of arrangement to finally say, okay, I feel something. And then we're going to have this conversation and apply it to the Cleveland Browns because Kevin Stefanski is sitting there in an arranged marriage with Baker Mayfield. He's like, all right, this ain't. I didn't wake up thinking of him. So in this arranged marriage, who's the true love? it wouldn't even be Case Keenum because he's like, Case Keenum, I can't fall in love with you. You my high school girlfriend. Like, we ain't going to go all the way with this. But at the same time, if you look at him versus Baker Mayfield, if he could do the same things, and he could do the same things and not cost him $200 million, which costs him roster spots and resources all around. All of a sudden, we won't have a backup as good as Kareem Hunt. All of a sudden, we won't have Odell Beckham Jr. making $15 million a year and catching no passes. All of a sudden, this team going to look drastically different. So the true love for Kevin Stefanski is actually in Case Keenum. And the arrangement is Baker Mayfield forced on him. And, hey, he changed the franchise's fortunes. Oh, people like him. He has commercials after commercials. He's the guy I'm supposed to be in love with. But in reality, when you start talking dollars, it starts to make sense that Case Keenum is his guy.
Okay, you started to confuse me with the second half of your take, but maybe I just took offense to the fact that you brought up arranged marriages to me. Is it because I'm African? So I know about arranged marriages. I got to watch Marcellus. That's why I be ducking and dodging you on Friday.
See,
you start acting funny.
I had this written for Joy and Slick Rick, but you know what I mean? See, you took it personally. I would have said the same thing to them.
Yeah,
it wouldn't have hit the same.
Here is my thought on why it's such a bad look for Baker Mayfield that Case Keenum won.
Let's go.
Because I don't think Case Keenum has to do all that much to knock out Baker Mayfield. To your point, Baker Mayfield's not Kevin Stefanski's guy.
No.
He's his guy by, I can't even call it adoption because adoption is legal rights. He's almost his stepchild in the sense that I can step in and I can step out.
Oh, damn.
And so Case Keenum is actually the person that Kevin Stefanski brought, said, wait a second. I was with you over in Minnesota.
Yeah.
You went 12-4. The Vikings were 13-3. Look deeply. Case Keenum went 12-4, playoffs included. So Case Keenum, you are serviceable, maybe even more than serviceable. Let's look at a full screen real quick. I don't want to bore anybody with numbers. It's going to be a show of opinions and fun. But Case Keenum last night, 63% completion percentage. Baker Mayfield over his career. You can say it's 63, it's really 62. Passing yards, Baker Mayfield throws for 50 more yards a game. Passer rating, it's the same thing. They were the same guy. Baker Mayfield over the course of his career is the same person that Case Keenum was last night. Kevin Stefanski going into the game. Second pass play of the game, tight end screen, 34-yard gain. Now we're in position. Now we're going to get a quick 7 points. First drive of the second quarter, running back screen. We're going to make it easy on you. That is what Kevin Stefanski does for his Browns quarterbacks. I very simply look at it like this. You would be a fool to say that Baker Mayfield is the problem in Cleveland. You would be a fool to say that Baker Mayfield is the reason the Browns have lost games. But he's not the problem in Cleveland, but he hasn't proven himself to be the solution either. Baker Mayfield is not the reason the Browns have lost games, but he's the reason they ain't won them either. And so as I look at Case Keenum, he wasn't the reason they won last night, but he sure as heck was the reason they didn't lose. Case Keenum, he ain't win the game last night, but he sure as heck didn't lose the game last night. Case Keenum, Baker Mayfield, as I look at it, there was no difference last night in play. For that reason, Baker got to be worried just a little bit.
Yeah, look, Baker and Case Keenum right now are Spider-Man memeing, doing that,
sir.
right? But the only difference is that Spider-Man suit on Baker going to cost $200 million, and the one on Case Keenum, you get for dirt cheap. And I think that's going to be the rooting interest of this organization going forward.
So then Baker's worried.
Baker's not worried. You know why? Because he has so much equity with this franchise as you. First of all, hold on. Your transformation has been drastic, and it has been stark, and it has happened recently. But at the same time, let's go back to old Acho.
Yes,
you know, I like the old Acho, the old Kanye. I need to hear old Acho, who was up here tirelessly telling me how Baker Mayfield has changed everything in Cleveland.
Yes, sir.
They have not forgotten that. And the only way that they will forget that is if they have a change in terms of the fortunes at this position. Right now, they don't have a drastic change in this position. The outcome was good, but then they're going to be like, oh, wait a minute. So Baker is not the reason and the driving force for our success, right? So now we're going to get somebody else who's not going to be that same guy, but we're only going to be happy because it's cheaper. Okay, that's a positive, but what if Baker has a higher ceiling, which we all will agree he does? So with a higher ceiling, now you're going to roll the dice. Do I want Baker Mayfield to finally hit and become the driving force, where I know for a fact that you got to cap Case Keenum as like, he's never going to be the driving force, but he could be a cheap version of Baker Mayfield. It's just which way you want it, tomato, tomato. But let me give it to you like this, since you are starting to agree with me a little bit. One, that full screen wasn't fair. You can't compare somebody's whole career in average to somebody on one night. I got a better comparison, but it's kind of boring. But basically, it says the same thing. Baker Mayfield outperformed him in basic categories, right? But in the outcome, let's get deeper than that, than just those categories. Case Keenum last night was only sacked once. Baker's averaging 3 sacks a game.
Okay.
These are the details that, okay, if you're Baker Mayfield, you may want to take notice of, but not be worried. I'm going to give it to you at the end why not be worried. Case had no giveaways. Baker's 5 in his last 6 games, 3 interceptions and 2 lost fumbles. Okay. They both averaging 1 passing touchdown in the games. We get that. So I went season to season. Last night, that was the season for Case Keenum, and the rest of the games were the season for Baker Mayfield. But let me tell you why Baker Mayfield ain't worried. Ain't worried about nothing. He ain't worried about nothing. Did you have acne growing up?
Of course.
What do you mean, of course? First of all, I did not.
Puberty,
I didn't have it. I'm something round. Not everybody had it. I know you were just stuck in your own world in that mirror and clear cell, but there was somebody in that class looking like me too. Oh, I'm good, homie. Okay, I didn't have acne, thank God, and no one raises their hand.
Acne, pimples?
Yeah,
I didn't have acne, but I had like you know what I'm saying? That little thing here.
Yeah. Look, we human beings. It's okay. Relax. Take that button off. First of all, this pink suit got you soft today because you over here.
Okay.
With me, everybody.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, good.
Sorry.
I didn't have acne, thankfully. My sister did, and a lot of people did, obviously, as you did as well. But I would get the semester, maybe quarterly bump. And that bump would show up, thankfully. Boy, I was lucky. Not even right here on the front of your nose where everybody like, damn, why didn't never get a bump? But when you get one, golly, I would get it right here in the gutter. Oh. Right here in that gutter, right? But that's cool. The gutter, all right, because on this side, you know I got a bump? Nope. And even on this side, it's kind of in that Slauson and Crenshaw right here.
That crevice.
Slauson and Crenshaw. That crevice right near the alley. So here's the thing. Baker Mayfield woke up today. He ain't had that clean Marcellus 8th grade face. He had that semester bump. He got a little something there. He like, damn, this ain't pretty. But it ain't ugly either.
Fair.
Case Keenum could have went out there and littered his face with all the acne in the world. He could have littered this field up, and we would be like, you got to get rid of Baker Mayfield. We're not in that mindset right now. We're in the mindset of right now of how good does Baker Mayfield look in contrast to what Case Keenum did last night. You add it all up, hey, Case, you got another opportunity, I'm certain, going forward to make your case. Do a little better job.